see. Hamburg is at 11 knots, gusting to 13, and forecasted to be about that. The Buffalo buoy is reading 2.93 seconds with a wave height of 0.97 feet. So overall, I think doing a downwinder is a fantastic idea. And since I don't have anyone to drive me upwind today, I think I'm Ubering. But the trees are blowing a little here. The big foil, the paddle, the jacket, I think we're good. All right, we made it to the beach. Time to call an Uber, because I don't have friends today. Got the 8.4 by 18, no, 17 and a half, 106 liter hollow KT. Running a Black Project Foil X today, size small. And I'm gonna run my biggest foil, which is a Lift 180. I got a Florence 20X tail on that, which hopefully will do the trick. I haven't actually looked at the waves yet, but they're probably pretty bad. So this is gonna be, I would think, a lot of pumping. So, fingers crossed. And we got the 30-inch M6 mast from Lift. This is the only mast I own right now. It's the stiffest they make, and it's been doing pretty well. Debating if I should wear a spring suit or board shorts and a wetsuit top, because the sun's pretty warm right now, and I know I'm going to be working hard if I do get on foil. So I'm just going to err on the side of I'm on foil and being in good temperature. This is a 13-mile run. It's usually about 45 minutes on foil if I'm going quick. Today it's going to be over an hour, I would expect. But we'll see. We got bolts, gel just in case, tourniquet, headphones, phone case. Should be good there. All right, Uber's leaving. Tried to tell the dude about foiling, but he wasn't that interested. But I don't know, it's capping out there. The buoy's reading 1.4 feet at about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds right now, so it should be pretty solid. I think this is gonna go good. That's a big foil. What could go wrong? It is amazing how fast the waves set up in Lake Erie. It's been, it's been blowing the last 5 or 6 hours, but I don't think it's been over about 12 or 13 knots. And a 3-second period on Erie is actually like super surfable. So I think this is not gonna be as horrible as I thought it was gonna be, which is encouraging. Although sometimes it is kind of fun just to milk terrible conditions. Not that I think today's going to be very good, but it's also not going to be a flat water slog fest for 13 miles. I think being 2 miles offshore, listening to some tunes, while you're downwinding is like a top 5 life experience. It's especially on a calm day like today, when you're just kind of cruising, it's properly fun. Normally I get, you know, parked down over there, but this Uber guy had no idea where we were, so we just got dropped off right at the entry. So got a couple minute walk to the water. Give this fanny pack a go today in case I get sick of the GoPro. I feel like it'll be easier to throw in there than in the life jacket pocket. Worked out well in Hood River. I was throwing my phone and tools in the fanny pack. You. Traditionally, I always wore a ankle leash, but with the hollow board, the leash slap was so loud that I couldn't stand it, so I got this Keohi Invis, and it's been working out pretty well. Make sure my board is not gonna leak, and let's get after it. I wouldn't say it's firing, but it's not nothing. That's kind of all we need. It's actually a little breezy here. Oh, it's 14 knots at Hamburg. That's pretty solid. On the really small days like today, when I'm on a bigger foil, I like to flat water paddle up on the inside of this jetty wall here because it's pretty smooth. Then I pump out to the wind line and shoot downwind, and it's always a good day if you can flat water to ace the run. Just never even get your upper half wet, but we'll see. I might do some dumb turns and fall off today, but should go good. I don't know. I've kind of gotten over the fact that it never looks like it's wavy here, but today extra doesn't look like it's wavy, so we'll see. This might be a lot of pumping. Alright, nice and gushy on the bottom. Love that. Okay, should be deep enough here. Oh yeah, there's a little ways off the point. Give her a rip. All right. I can get on a wave and I can swap the camera onto the end of the paddle so you can see what I'm doing a bit more. Oh yeah, this will go. Whew. Oh, easy, easy, easy. It's solid. I mean, it's small, but it's not going to be a horrible run. Just going to record the whole time, because last time I did that, it actually Got a ton of views on YouTube. People seem to be very hungry for downwind content. That said, I really dislike foiling with a camera. So I very well might just get sick of this and chuck it in the fanny pack. Oh, dude. This is solid. Look at this. Super solid. Maybe if I can create enough FOMO, someone will come out here for a second and give me a ride back upwind. Because a $70 Uber upwind is not super sustainable. That or I can hit up Greg Williams, aka Cuck Foiler. Get me back up here on his way home from work. Good song. Let's put this camera down and flip you over. See what I'm riding a little bit better. Just working my way offshore a bit. The waves are always better out in the deeper water. Just hit 1 mile. I don't know how fast that was because I started the watch early, but just hit something in the water, stick or something. Yeah, there's a little wave right here. The trick to smaller conditions is just keeping the foil super high, which I'm not doing the best job of while filming. But the higher it is in the water, the more water's moving in that wave, because waves are essentially like water moving in a circular motion, and the deeper you get, the smaller that circle's radius becomes. So the higher you are to the surface, the more power there is, the more downhill slope there is, and the more you can extract energy out of the wave and not need a pump. Right now I'm on, put as many miles as I can on the foil mode, because starting to gear up for hopefully something really big. I don't know if you jinx it by saying it on camera, but 75 miles plus, 5.5, 6 hours on foil is the goal right now. And to my knowledge, that will be the longest downwinder ever done on the Great Lakes, certainly on Lake Erie. And up there, you know, there's some guys that have gone longer, but only a handful of people have gone that distance. And I want to do it unsupported and with no stops on shore. My biggest concern is hydration and nutrition, because I've certainly cramped a few times on really big days. But I think if I can keep salt in me, lots of water and sugar, I can get through as many miles as I need to. The one nice thing about this, you know, the Great Lakes, is they're freshwater. So I potentially can bring a water filtration system that's real small and refill bladders if I run out. So that would be a really nice option to have as just a backup. Ideally, you know, you wouldn't be doing that a lot. This is fucking solid out here. For like 11 knots all day. I mean, I'm going slow, but we're going 12.2 miles an hour right now on 1.8 miles. But not gassed at all, barely pumping. Could get a lot surfier, but this camera is very heavy on the end of the stick. So we'll give it a go. Flip you over. Woo-hoo-hoo. On the max lens mod to the GoPro because then it would have horizon leveled. It's gonna be a pain in the ass to flip this video every time I turn the paddle over in the edit. One thing I've been working on that's helped my downwinding a lot recently is every time you do feel like you need a pump, trying to do like 1 or 2 less pumps than you think you need. Just let the foil glide a little more. It really helps you learn what the low end of the foil is and what you can get through without pumping. Like today I got a couple maintenance pumps here and there, but you just kind of like find your way through stuff. It's not actually that hard from a cardio standpoint. So off the back of this one here. I'm trying to up and over this bump. There's kind of a good big one right in front of me. If you want to, keep chasing that one. And once you get on it, just kind of squeeze back and forth a little. Ricky, you should have come today, dude. Good practice for going fast. will say, Feels very good to be in board shorts. It's the first one of the season. If it was super windy and I wasn't going downwind, I'd be cold, but I'm going about the speed of the wind right now, which means that when I go in a certain direction, everything is almost completely still. That makes you a lot hotter than you know, trying to stay upwinder. Plus, the top of me is not even wet because I just stood up on the board and flat watered and I haven't fallen. So I'm dripping sweat though. Good song. Like, could be a little bigger right now, but still super calm conditions, kind of just like flowing downwind, solid music. Top 5 life experience. And I think it's even specialer because right now in Western New York there's 3 people that have ever done this run on the SUP. So the club of who can actually do this is very small. Not many people get to have this experience, and I'm extremely grateful for it. These lakes are like the ultimate playground. And the pairing's sweet, don't get me wrong. Winging's fun. Harrowing is just the next level to winging. I was just in Hood River for a week, and all I did there was harrowing. Even though I brought a paddle, I didn't touch it once. It's the right tool for the job. But the paddle opens up so many days. There's absolutely no way, even if I had a massive harrowing, that I would go out on a day like today, because I don't know what the wind's going to do. But the paddle and a big foil, you know, I theoretically could flat water paddle up, pump about a half mile, wait until I recover my cardio, and just hammer downwind that way. But realistically, Erie has so much fetch and such a big surface area that even if the wind completely shuts off, these waves will stay around for at least an hour or so, which is plenty of time for me to get to the end. So we are straight chilling. Footage, but I'll put you back in my mouth. I'm sick of holding this paddle with the camera on it. It's kind of heavy. And I don't know if anyone's going to watch this to the end. I didn't think anyone would last time, but like 2,000 people did. So we'll keep rolling. Throw it up, you never know. All right, now I feel like we can chase and like a bit more maneuverability because I don't have a weight on the paddle. Nice narrow stance. Nice and efficient. Going 14 miles an hour, not bad. Which, you know, if it's 12 knots, that's 14 mile an hour wind. That explains why I don't feel any wind on me. Might even be less than that. Phew! It's always interesting to watch these back and hear what I say. I've gotten to the point where I have the extra brain power to actually ramble while I'm foiling. But that doesn't mean that it's actually useful info. It's also interesting to hear my voice while I'm biting the GoPro. Look at these lines out here. Just cruising. I gotta stay higher on the mast. Another good song. This is fucking good shit. 442 mile, 5 miles in. We got like 8 to go. Chilling. There's a little wind when I turn sideways. There's not quite enough power in these waves to really catch me when I do kind of a quick little snap at times. So I have to like put in a couple of pumps to keep it moving. But a shit day on foil is fun. Yeah, chase the back of them. When you can see the back of the wave, that means the face you're on has some power. Because it's usually pretty hard to look down and tell what you're on. I'm sure the GoPro probably makes it look even worse, but these don't look great out here. But you can see there's a bump in front of me and another one in front of that, so I'm trying to chase this one in front of me and not outrun it, so I'm doing a couple turns. And it's fading out a little, so I'm going to project through this section here and get on the one that was in front of it. Now it looks like there's something over here going across the wind. That one's kind of fading, so I'll cut back. Looks like this right here is something. Now if I want, I can chase this one up here, you know, up and over that, up and over that. Get onto this, there's a little more power here. So lets me do a couple turns. Ew. I got back on this big foil the other day after riding the Lift 120, and I was also on a Hydrocraft 665 in Hood River. And the 180 is not that wide, but man, it felt locked in. So I just like retuned my brain for the smaller stuff that week. But we get conditions out here. I've downwinded the 120 on this run, the 110. We get solid conditions when it blows hard here. You know, Hood had, the day we were at Rufus, I think it was like 35 knots gusting, maybe 45. The waves were good, they were super fun, but quite slow compared to what I'm used to. Which is really fun because you can just turn for days. But I think here got a 30 knot day shortly after that, and I was looking at the buoys and they were reading like 9 feet significant wave height with 12 footers occasionally. There was absolutely no way Hood was even close to that height. And those, you know, 9 footers on Erie are probably averaging, you know, I would easily do like 19 mile an hour average speeds on a day like that here. So these lakes behave a lot more like an ocean. Except Erie is shallow. It's the shallowest lake, which is amazing for days like today because it sets up faster than any other Great Lake. There's actually more shipwrecks on this lake by density than anywhere else in the world, any other lake in the world, and I think most, you know, ocean spots as well, because it can get pretty nasty out here. Someone fact checked me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing. And the only downside of that shallowness is that it can't hold the same power that the deeper lakes can. So we get about, I think the most I've ever seen is a 9-second period. And when it's blowing hard enough for that, the waves are literally breaking in the middle of the lake because they're dragging on the bottom. This western basin that I'm in right now, or sorry, eastern basin, is about 60 feet deep. I think I'm probably in about 60 feet of water right now. Whereas some of the bigger, deeper Great Lakes get better surf waves because they take longer to build, but once they've built, they hold more power, and after the wind shuts off, the waves stay around longer. We've had some pretty fun prone surfing days here when the wind does shut off, but it really only lasts about an hour before they get too small in the shallow areas to do much with. Out in the deeper water out here, the waves propagate longer because they're not dragging on anything when they're this size. So they can basically move through this water unimpeded. Just, the foil is the tool here, 100%. Put you back on the paddle until I get annoyed with that again. this battery lasts. It's funny. I remember the first time I did this, it felt so daunting. You know, 13 miles downwind, not a lot of good exits. I think the scariest part about it was that it had never been done before. And I'd paddle up and done shorter runs, but no one in this area was doing anything with the sup 3 years ago. So I think the most daunting part of it was just the, you know, proving it's possible, if you will. Because other than the two guys that are coming up right now, I've never supped with anyone else downwind. Actually, this past week in Hood River is the first time I've seen sup downwinding on the water in close proximity to me, other than, you know, here. I've yet to do a Malika run in Maui. The conditions haven't lined up when I'm out there, but that's on the bucket list for sure. But it's funny because now the guys that are learning this are more than willing to, you know, just do dumb stuff because it's kind of proven out. Scott once did a 20-miler on Seneca Lake that took him 6 hours and he didn't pull out, which is absolutely wild. And Ricky just did, I think, a 32-miler on Ontario, because he's all gung-ho on doing a big send with me soon. Same thing with last year. I did Dunkirk, which ended up being 36 miles on foil. And at the time, that felt super daunting. But nowadays, you know, I do 2 of these sturgeon runs at 13 miles a pop. You're 26 miles in, and I'm raring for a third if we have time. But just the level of what we're willing to send is going through the roof, which is awesome. There's a fishing boat over here. Wonder if they're gonna spot me. One of my favorite pastimes is being out on light days like today. Just like sneaking up on fishing boats a couple miles offshore. But yeah, I mean, I've done more miles downwinding this summer so far than, you know, I ever have in the same amount of time. And that's because I got a couple dudes that are chomping at the bit to go do dumb shit in really light conditions. So we're just getting after it as much as possible. And it's awesome. This week's been tough because Rick lives in Rochester, which is a bit of a hike to get here. And we've had 2 pretty marginal days where it overperformed the forecast a little bit. Like some of the forecasts today were saying like 5 knots. And Scotty is on vacation in Michigan. But otherwise I know for a fact he'd be out here with me. He is fucking hungry for it. He's starting to crack the code on the sub, which is so sick to witness. We had a day, I don't know, maybe probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, where he had like his best run ever. And I was behind him, just screaming my head off. So I was so stoked that he was starting to get it. Rick's starting to level up. He's aced a couple of these now. Actually handed him a Voyager foiler hat the day of his first ace before the first run. And he goes out and aces it in light wind. And then we do a second and he gets another ace. Which, that's a pretty big accomplishment. 13 miles on foil is no joke. You can't make mistakes. He used to, when I would talk to him while we were, foiling, he would almost always fall off as soon as I started talking. So he didn't have the extra compute power up top to process that and what he was doing. He's starting to build that neural circuitry that allows him to think about other stuff while he's foiling, which is cool to see. One of my favorite things about the downwind stuff is that you can have full-on conversations out here with people because you're going with the wind. I can be riding 20-30 feet away from a buddy of mine. There's really no, fluttering wings or other stuff. It's cool. A little bit. I'm talking to the camera too much and not paying attention to my line. Pretty far out. I could 100% make the harbor from here if I wanted to. Although the last time I did that was like the worst backwash of any downwind run I've ever done. Because there's like a 6-mile stone wall that they'll bounce off of, come straight back at you. "10 miles, 4:35. We are, what, 51 minutes in? So, pretty slow, but the waves are slow. And I'm falling off the back of a lot of these instead of pushing forward. Ooh. It's weird. The GoPro's in my mouth. It's actually like hard to judge my height because I don't have, it like blocks my downward vision. surprising how much I'm using my, you know, peripheral low vision as a gauge of how high I am off the water. Getting a little smaller down on this end. Excuse me. $11 miles. Stop chasing waves, dude. Anyone wants to know why I have a butt crack on my forehead? It's because my mom has one, but also it's because I spent all my time out here squinting at the waves in front of me. Oh, we're going slow. Very slow. going in my mouth for the last half mile. So much more maneuverable without a weight on the pedal. It's funny, I can even feel the GoPro mount. Just meandering, so I'm not quite ready to go in yet. And these waves are moving incredibly slowly because we're getting into shallow water and they're starting to slow down. Hey, Tom's still out. Let's go harass him. He's foil driving. There's plenty out here. You should have come with me. Battery just died. My battery just died, but you make the video. That's a wrap underneath.